Yeah, that's a fun trick. How do you hide a leg that looks like it's been cut off, but it hasn't?
Yeah, we couldn't
So
cut off my leg. I needed it, and I needed it night after
you
night.
needed it every single night after
Yeah,
that, didn't you?
yeah. So I'm Steve Sherman, coming to you from Knoxville, Tennessee, the native lands of the Yuchi, Muskogee Creek, and the Cherokee Nations. And I am a lecturer in the theater department in acting. And I went to grad school here in our tremendous MFA acting program. In my first year of grad school, my second show was The Whipping Man by Matthew Lopez, a tremendous play. Sarah, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do for the CBT? Where are you coming from?
Hey, so I'm coming to you from the Prop Shop.
Yeah.
So I am a resident artisan here at the Clarence Brown Theater, and I work in the Prop Shop as the lead properties artisan. And so what that means is I work with my direct supervisor, who's the prop master. That's Christy Fogarty. And so Christy, she works directly with the designers and the directors, and then I work on the props themselves. So she brings all of these ideas and tells me exactly what is needed for the production, and then I'm the one who creates that. So I'm building furniture and I'm constructing the hand props or the set dressing. So I'm pretty hands-on with the creation of many of the things that you see on stage.
Awesome. And so for this play, it takes place in 1865 at the end of the Civil War. And my character, a Confederate soldier, comes back to his house, which is in ruins, with a bullet wound through his leg. And his leg has, I have gangrene. At the end of the first scene, that leg gets cut off on stage. The lights go to black. And then we had to disguise it with theater magic that I didn't have the lower half of my leg. Spoiler alert, I still do. How did we make that happen? How did you all help disguise that?
Yeah, definitely. That was a fun challenge because you can't cut off your leg every night. You need that the next
No,
day.
needed it.
So this piece, because of what was necessary for the production, we made a custom piece of furniture. We built this chaise lounge from the ground up. And it was a pretty amazing process. We had our designer, Jason Ayman. He created working drawings for us and how he generally wanted this chaise to look based on the research of the time period and also within the elements of what we needed it to look like, to what it had to be in its final stage. So Jason created a lot of working drawings for us. So that's a line template with measurements and all of that jazz. And then from there, I would springboard off of those working drawings into creation of the real thing. But throughout this whole process, because it was a new element, I had never built a piece of furniture from scratch before. This was a new thing for me. I've upholstered pieces of furniture, but in terms of creating a piece of furniture from scratch, that was an awesome craft to be able to do for this production. And we had you in the shop quite often, actually.
Yeah. I'm used to actors. We're used to costume fittings. We usually have a few per show. Rarely do we go to the prop shop for a fitting, which I had to do because my leg had to fit kind of perfectly into this hole to look like I had a nub.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had to. Where does your leg go?
Right.
So when we crafted this too, we thought, okay, well, we'll put a hole into the chaise lounge in the lounge part, and we had to cut that hole to a specific size. So with you coming into the shop, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times, we were able to get it precise. It's where you are when you sit down in the chaise lounge. Where does your leg land? Okay, this is where your knee is. This is where the hole needs to be. And then we would pad the hole because we wanted to make sure you were comfortable. Because not only like did the chaise lounge had to look like it was a real upholstered piece of furniture. You know, we had the layers, we had the seat back, you know, and then we would have the different layers of foam. But we had to make sure you were propped up just right. You were comfortable. So we took a lot of that into account. I mean, we padded the inside of that thing too. You never see that. The audience doesn't see
I
that.
really appreciated, because I had all this makeup on my leg, which was not comfortable. And then, with the exception of my monologue at the beginning of the second act, I spent the entire play sitting there with my leg in that hole. So that meant a lot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We really, really do. We try to be able to support our actors, our performers on stage in a way that it doesn't distract from your performance. Because if we're not doing our job, we want to make sure you're in the reality and real of the play, and all you have to worry about is your performance, not is this prop going to function for me correctly.
Right. Well, and talking about the immersive environment of the Carousel Theater in this play, the audience walked in and really felt like they were in a mansion in ruins in 1865, and a lot of that was due to the set dressing, and the lighting was different because we didn't have electricity, so we used candles, which you all had to distress and make function in a certain way. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, definitely. So of course we can't use real flame on stage. We we have to take into consideration safety for everybody. It has to be consistent. Otherwise, we'd have to completely flame proof everything between the paint and the costumes, everything. So we use electric candles when we do that. But so, for example, this is one of the looks that we were going for the Whipping Man.
Wow.
And it was plates and other found objects and things like that in that nature, but it's all electric. But one of the cool elements that we were working with in this show in Whipping Man was a new technical technique in how to create a realistic looking flame because the audience is so close. So we worked with the electrics department, and we found these flames, these candles that flicker. It's all electric. I can touch it. It's not going to burn me or anything like that. And we would immerse them in these candles. I would go, Christy or myself, we would go to craft stores to get inspiration. And at one of our craft stores, we found these wax battery operated candles. What we would do is we would take all of the insides out, everything, all the mechanisms. So we would use this as a base and then put our electric inside of there. And it was cool because this is real wax. We could shave it and cut it and melt it and drip it down so it looked like this. And because it's under stage lights, we wanted to make sure that it didn't look like a bright white candle. We wanted it antiqued. We wanted it to have shape. So we would paint it and drip real wax on top and layer it and make it look like it's been a well-used candle.
That's awesome. And it's so funny to learn about that theatrical magic, and that flame looks so real. And I remember the actor, Dave Morrison, would strike the matches, and then it would look like he shook them out or something, but to the audience, it looked like he was lighting these candles.
Exactly. That was like the only time we actually had real flame on stage. And it was just that one actor, and we made sure everything was safe for him, but he would strike a real match. And we had little match pads all over the set on the stage floor that were hidden so you couldn't see, so that he could strike it and light that candle. So as soon as the flame was coming near it, because everything was wired up and it all was controlled by the light board, so you could individually operate each candle. So he could light it and it would just magically become a lit candle.
Sweet. There's a lot of other set dressing to portray the passage of time. How did we deal with that? Because the scenes kind of went from one to another really quickly.
Yeah, definitely. So Jason Ayman's our scenic designer, did a really brilliant job of creating a set that you could open the walls and allow easily for different elements to come on and off stage. So we had these palettes that were full of set dressing to show this progression of time and acquiring of different effects and things like that. And they were actually crates. They were individual crates that were made specifically for this production. And the crates were crafted by one of our undergraduate students. So it was a really cool collaboration between our professional company and our students as part of their training. It was really cool. And all of the found objects, our props master, Christy, she would acquire a bunch of different things. And then I had one craft, one specific element that I built. It was a rocking horse. That was part of the set dressing too. But it was just kind of sculpted in a way that it created this natural look of a lot of things culminating just to...
Yeah, that the character John was just bringing in. And then we would use, we use the window shutters and other elements to create the table for the Seder dinner, for the Seder.
Yeah, so. Exactly. It's that idea of finding those found objects within the space. They had to just work with what they had. So, but we would turn those things that were found, and we would create tricks, and they were done in a very, very specific way so that it functioned for the actors, but it looked natural.
Awesome. Sarah, thank you so much for letting us in on how we made the magic happen for the Whipping Man. Thank you for being here with us today.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. It was really good to see your face.
Good to see you, and good to see you, the viewer. Thank you so much for supporting your performing artists, and we'll see you next time as we continue to talk about the Whipping Man.